Hello, my name is Jennifer, and welcome to part 32 of my Rags to Riches Get Famous edition. And if you are returning, welcome back. And at the end of the last part, they moved to this new home in the Pinnacles. Here's a quick look at it. And so this part is is going to be all about furnishing and decorating it as a speed build with the voiceover. And then after I've done that part, we'll be back to do a quick tour of the house with our Sims and see how they are enjoying their new place. I either will or I have changed the lot trait to be a celebrity home, so we will see how they respond to that, because I'm not sure if their fame is high enough. So we will see whether or not we keep that trait. But I will be back momentarily with the speed build for you. So I built this house shortly after Get Famous came out when I was playing with another sim, just personal play, and I decided that this would be a good fit for this family, of course. But that room that I broke down just there before, it was supposed to be one big master bedroom, and I thought that was not really necessary. It was kind of big. So, and then there was like a closet and a bathroom off of it, and I just turned them both into bathrooms instead of having a walk-in closet, since really it doesn't have any real function in the game, a walk-in closet, though they can look nice. But unfortunately I misplaced the link for the floor plan that I use, so I don't have it on. I looked. I'll take another look and see if there's any way I can find it, but I didn't have much look. Now I do place this bed. This is Felicity's bed, but in the end I don't use it in her room, but I come over here and do the bathroom instead and then go back to her bedroom. Sometimes I do that when I sort of don't know what I want to do with the room. I'll like go and switch to something else that I think I might have a better idea up front what I want to do, and in the back of my mind it might be like flowing a little bit and thinking. And you may have noticed I put a little wall in for the shower, and that's because the faucet comes off that wall, so in reality you kind of need something where the plumbing is going to go, so that's why there's a wall there, even though it's not so much for privacy, even though it would give you some privacy. If someone was in the shower and someone walked in, they wouldn't see the person in the shower unless they came out. But it is another way of making, if you have a one bathroom house, if you have a few little walls in the bathroom, it can help cut down on embarrassment from people walking in. I have done that in other builds, but in this case I didn't do it for that reason. I did it just because it just seemed silly to have a faucet coming off like it was. So anyways, I just did obviously some decoration on this bathroom, and now we're over to Felicity's bedroom, and this is where I had off camera taken the bed and put it back into their inventory, and decided to use this bed, which comes with the not luxury party, the one with the vintage glamour, the one that comes with the butler. And I can't remember if I think that was still the dresser that she had in her room, but I had tried to make it work with this sort of vanity table, but the colors just weren't working, which is why I ended up deciding that Jasper was getting her bed. It'll be recolored for him, but he was going to get the bed later, and she would get a new bed instead of him getting a new bed in this place, because I don't think we brought the cheap bed. I didn't think it was necessary. There was no point having a really cheap bed, and I realized that this didn't quite work to have a side table, and I wanted a side table more than I wanted the dresser where it was, so I flipped it and moved it over. So this isn't a very big bedroom in the end, but I mean it's big enough to have a dresser, a table, 2 nightstands, and a vanity table, so it's decent enough. And it's not like they really use their bedrooms, because I rally the troops a lot, so it's more there for show than anything. And I like to add the closets from Get Together to all my houses, because of course they're also very good woohoo locations. And not that she has anybody that she has a relationship with, but at some point she hopefully will soon enough. And there's their one that I brought with them, the video recording station, and of course the music station, which I realized that I preferred that door moved from where it was originally placed from the floor plan that I misplaced. So I bought them the second one, which I was like really, really wanting when we were in the other place so much, because they keep filling it up, and I like to keep them there if they have a call for some of them. But I have heard, I don't remember if I mentioned this, if I learned this after I recorded the last part, but if you combine certain videos, like I can't think what be, like say if you did a guitar video and you combine it with an inspired video, that would make it a better quality because like they go together. So I plan on combining more of their videos in the future to try and do that, especially with Jasper, because that's his thing, right? That's what he does, is he does videos. So this is obviously the second bathroom, and like I said, one of these on the original floor plan was a closet and one was a bathroom, which you probably could tell because the one had tile floor and that was the one that was meant to be a bathroom, and the other one was meant to be a walk-in closet off of the huge bedroom. But I find having extra bathrooms is very useful, especially as places to have showers and stuff, because even though I do the rallying of the troops to get my Sims so they don't really need to go to the bathroom, they don't need to sleep, they don't need to eat that much, they still need to shower. So having extra showers in the house is useful. And so I like to sometimes just put shelves in bathrooms, because then you can put some of the little toiletry sundries up on the shelves, because there's no room on the counters, and I don't tend to use the actual counters in bathrooms because then Sims will come from the kitchen and cook in the bathroom. So that's just my way of avoiding that, is just not putting counters with sinks in bathrooms, because even with clutter, they'll work over clutter, right? They didn't used to, but they do now. So like I said, I just avoid them, and then my way to add clutter to the bath, like counter clutter, is to put a shelf in and have it up above. And I think I'm looking for a towel to put over there. And the walls are sort of, they're medium height, if I remember correctly. I'd have to see it. And here I'm putting in the closets everywhere for the spots where they're supposed to be. And there are closets on the floor plan, that's why they're there. But like I said, I'm just remembering it. It's been a while since I built this originally, and I never properly fully furnished it because the Sim who lived there essentially just lived in the living space, and I took out some of the stuff that he had. But yeah. So there's Felicity's bed recolored for Jasper. I gave him a double bed. He had a double bed in the other place, but he's going to be aging up to a teen soon, so I figured, that we would have that type of bed for him. And it's a decent quality in terms of the sleep and whatnot. And that toddler bed, I move everywhere. It's decent. Eventually, I decide I'm going to give little Noelle her own actual bed, but I mean, she's about to age up. She could age up to a child anytime, because I think she's got most of her skills almost maxed. I added a basement. It's a pretty big house, but I don't really have anywhere for them to work out, so I thought I would put that in the basement instead, so that they have a little workout room. And plus, eventually they might have a vault and stuff, and that can be in the basement, so there'll be space to put some of those things downstairs. I can always expand the basement later, was sort of what my plan was. They don't really need a huge basement right now, and it is, like, right now, I haven't done anything to bring the money down, but by the time I finish, they have used a fair amount of their money. They still have a decent cushion left. It's not like it's that bad, but they do use a lot of their money. And I realize that it's probably better to put this little nook here for the bathroom versus for that what becomes the toddler room, so I can stick a shower in that spot. This is kind of a weird shape for a bathroom, I have to say. But I had decided to widen that a little bit because I put the stairs to go in the basement, and then it meant the hall seemed a bit narrow, so I decided to change the shape of the bathroom to give more space in the hall for the Sims to get through and walk around. But it does mean that this bathroom is a bit awkward. I'm pretty sure they should be able to get around and through to that shower to use it. I am not using move objects when I did this build. I turned it on a couple of times for a couple of things that I really, really want it on for, but for the most part, I just wanted to, hope that by not using it and just using Alt to like move things a little bit more freely, that there'd be less issues with routing with it, because I didn't use it. So that's why you'll see it's red sometimes, because I don't have move objects on, except for, like I said, a couple of times, which I pretty much, I think, edited out the fact, but I'll point out where I added. Essentially, it was around mostly columns, adding columns that I needed it for, because it is not going to cause a problem, and it was more just visual in how it looked. So here I decided to get some of those plush ruggy things and layer them so that there was, because of course you're going to want a rug outside the shower and outside of the bathtub, and they just look kind of, I thought it was better just to have them all the way across. And those pictures, that picture there, I love them in the bathrooms, and it comes with the fitness stuff pack. It's probably one of my most used things from that pack. Apart from the Create a Sim, I use the fitness stuff Create a Sim all the time also. And I decided I should maybe get out some of these plants because they're cluttering up my household inventory. So whenever I'm looking for them, there's these plants always there. So I finally put them out into this greenhouse, which in the floor plan was a garage, but I often convert garages to greenhouses because, we don't have cars in the game, and much as I could just get a toy car and put it there, I prefer to have something more functional. And on the original lot that this house was on, it was a smaller lot, so it needed to use it. This lot is big enough that we could have had a separate greenhouse and made that into a garage, but I had, or even like a fitness space, whatever, but I had already built it like that, so for now we're going to leave it. Who knows? This is just sort of a starting point for them, so the house probably will change as they stay there for a bit longer. I don't know why I had that speaker. I'm surprised. Normally I would just get a basic speaker, but that was a get-together speaker, which was strange. I don't know where I got that one from, unless maybe that was in the original build and I didn't realize that, and I packed it up thinking it was one that they had bought. And I thought I needed the thermostat, but then I was like, oh, they already have one. I already added one when I built the house in the first place, which makes sense because I played in this house. It's just that the sim played with club systems, so never needed to sleep, so I didn't have really a bedroom. Though I had tried using one of the special beds that comes with Get Famous, but I had taken a few of the things out of the house before they bought it. So I left the kitchen as it was pretty much intact, and I left a couple of plants in the greenhouse that were ones from Outdoor Retreat that can be a nuisance to get, and then I think I left a crocus in case we ever want to do the bees, and I didn't feel like having to go through 50 million packs to try and find a crocus. I just left it there. I don't even think it's improved. I don't remember whether it's improved, but it's there regardless. I tried a few different wallpapers because I was like using that picture, and I didn't think that picture worked on the wall with that wallpaper, and so then I decided to change to this wallpaper, which is also one that will probably, if we keep Noelle in the house and change up her bedroom to be an actual child's bedroom, I think that's probably a little bit better than the paper that was in there. And I decided in the end, after all of that, to get rid of that picture. I don't like the way it looked with the new wallpaper either. So then I don't use these little pictures very much, but I thought they were kind of cute for a little toddler room, and they're all right for a young girl's room too. I mean, they obviously, when they put them in the game, there were no toddlers, so it was meant for a kid's room, but I think of it as more for a younger child's room. And I thought we would make this a spare bedroom and try out that bed that comes with Get Famous here. So the toddler bed, it's going to end up back in inventory for traveling if they ever need it. Or maybe I might just put it in the family inventory, because if Noelle is aging up and if we keep her here so that we age up, we age up Jasper to a teen, and then we keep Noelle as a child, perhaps, then it's not like we don't have the space for her. It's quite a large, reasonably sized house. Though I cut it out, but I tried a whole bunch of dressers, and I used the dressers that came with Get Famous, and I didn't like the look as much, so I ended up using that dresser that came with another Vintage Glamour pack. I use a lot of the stuff from Vintage Glamour quite often. I don't use the butlers very much, I have to say, but I do use I use the things, and I use the clothes a lot, and the beds are good because for the price, they're pretty good. They're pretty good value for the fact that, so for the price you pay for them, they can be quite good in terms of the stats that you get on them. So if you're actually using them. And then I decide I want to put a desk up there, and I move that mat down into the exercise area, which is where I had it in the first place. And then I put it up, I thought, oh, it'll be nice in the sun. It might be actually nice on the patio now that I think about it, but I can always move that afterwards. I didn't think of that. I'm just thinking that as I'm recording here, as I'm doing my voiceover here, that I could move it. But of course, this house is going to be a bit of a work in progress, that things will change as they live in the place, which is one thing I like to do when I do a build. I like to play in it a bit, because sometimes when you play, you think, oh, maybe it's better like this versus how you did it when you built it, just because things aren't quite in the most convenient location for actually playing. There, because I don't have move objects on, I can't put it right in the middle, which is probably where I would prefer it to be. But I didn't want to turn it on and off too much, so maybe at some point when I'm playing, I might change it. And I put this, that's just one of the potties that we brought. I like to have the potties spread out so that if the toddlers are close, they can go wherever and they don't have to it's a big space for a little toddler to move around, I have to say. I think she's maxed, or she's pretty close to maxing her movement. I cannot remember actually what her skills are right now as I'm doing this. So what I decided to do is, and the house came originally, the sim I had playing had a cat. And I am thinking I'm going to get them a cat, which is why I left all the cat stuff in the house. And then I put the dryer away because I don't know that anyone is high enough I don't know that Felicity has high enough handiness to upgrade it to be lintless. And I don't want to have a chance of a fire, so I just put it away. And that's what I normally do with them, is I do not let them have dryers until someone can upgrade it. So, the kitchen here was finished in terms of the counters and the basic appliances. It didn't have upper cabinets, so that's what I decided to add in, and that was one of the things that I needed to use the move objects cheat, which I used and turned it off because of the column over there. It didn't work because it kind of touches it, but again, that's not going to affect the functionality of the gameplay. And again, I always like to have shelves so that I have some of the clutter off and not on the counters. That's a throwback to when the clutter used to get in the way on the counter, and like I said, I don't think it does. I think they just work right on it, but I find it looks odd for them to work on it, so that's the other reason I just keep most of the clutter up on a shelf in the kitchen. And then that was a wall that I couldn't really put counters because I put that that's a light, but it looks like a hood, and it's one that comes with Cool Kitchen. I use Cool Kitchen quite often. I like the ice cream maker. Love Taste of Diet ice cream. Wish they had it in real life. And I use a lot of the clutter from it, as well as sometimes the clothes and stuff like that. And I don't know, that actually might be Cool Kitchen. Like, it came with those stools at the counter, but they may be Cool Kitchen counter stools. But I can't tell because I didn't put them in here. I would have done that like a long time ago when I built this house, which, like I said, was probably shortly after Get Famous came out. So it's been a little while since I actually did the original build, and it's even been a while since I played in it because I was playing with the sim, and then I went on and did something else like I do. And so I got the toy box and put it out, and there's the little slide there. There's the painting that their mom did. And this area over here is a kitchen, is supposed to be like a more formal living room, and this is like the family room that's off of the kitchen area. But I was kind of running out of steam, I have to say, when I was decorating, because I've sped this up. This took me a couple of hours to actually do all of this, and like I said, I was just kind of like, yeah, I've had enough. But I don't want to think about it. They're starting to, I've used a lot of their money already, and I wasn't wanting to use too much. I wanted them to have like a decent amount left over in case I realize I forgot something. Plus, they're gonna have bills coming up soon. So yeah, that was so this is a half bath here. And I don't know if you noticed, but off the laundry area, which is supposed to be the laundry area, which is sort of over here, I have a shower. And that's because the house is kind of big, so I always like to have an actual shower and bathroom, a bathroom but one with a shower. And since there wasn't room to add a shower, off at the living area, because Sims are going to go there and not have to go all the way, because it takes them long to get from one place to another. So I actually don't like to play in too big of houses, but you also need the space for the skill building equipment, so you kind of have to have sort of a happy medium between the two. So that table is from Get Famous, and I purposely used it because I thought, maybe I should be using some more stuff from Get Famous in this build, because I didn't use that much. So we do have the one special bedroom, the guest bedroom, that has the special bed and has a lot of things from Get Famous. This is where I end up having to use the Move Objects cheat because it took away the that. And I don't cut out that I used it. I do turn it back off, like I said. And I decide to use a different, when I have to replace it, I decide I don't want the rounded column. I want to just use a square column So I did change that a little bit. And if they're going to do any entertaining, I figured they needed a bar. So that's why this is like this. The dining room's not quite big enough for the bar. If it was just like probably one notch bigger back, then it would have a bit more room so that I could have put the bar differently. But, you know, it should function because I don't have move objects on when I did that. So they should all be able to sit down and move around fine. And it's fine. And one good thing about this is that they'll have room probably for their tree in the middle without having to put anything away. And when I had been looking at it when they came in, I didn't like how the pole looked like it was floating. It wasn't. If you go closer, it actually is touching the patio, but it just didn't look like that. And then I realized I forgot to add a picture on that wall in Jasper's room, and then this hall area looked a bit bare, so I actually came back in and did this afterwards. So we're gonna go and do a little bit of a tour of it, so I'll be back with that. Well, they're still all out on the curb, but little Noelle is running in the house because she has to go potty, and I've grabbed some food from the fridge. So here is essentially their living area. We have the kitchen and the eat-in dining nook, breakfast nook, and a family room, and then the dining area. Of course, there's the greenhouse over there, which, as I mentioned, was in the floor plan a garage. And this will eventually become a more formal living room. It's obviously a very small space, but it'll be big enough because I don't know that they'll use it as much. It's just going to be another seating area. But for now, I just put their, well, I think that's what I'll do. That's what it's supposed to be. But for now, I've put their chess table here. Now, this area here, this is going to be Felicity's room. And originally, this whole space was a bedroom on the floor plan I used, but I decided to make this their media center because they needed a lot of space for having two tables for doing video recordings, as well as the table for doing their music. A couple of bathrooms, one ensuite, one that's just for when they're working in here, they can get to the bathroom easily. Jasper's new bedroom, which has a much better bed. He has his laptop in here and his table. And then this, like I said, is kind of a guest room. And we might experiment with this bed and see how it turns out. And this is little Noelle's bedroom. And she does have a little bit to go with her skills. So she still will be there for a while. It's just a matter of whether we're going to keep her. Because one of the reasons I added her was to get Felicity's skill up to level 9, her parenting skill, and it is now, so we could just keep her because I kind of like having a few people in the house, and we could keep her and age her up and have her stay with them. Now that they have a nice big house, we may as well have another sim in the house, at least for now. And so they're sitting here. I just had, let me see, did she actually have her shower? She did. I made use of the fact that this has a wall, so little Noelle went and used the potty here, and Felicity took the shower there, but there's a wall there, so it gives privacy in there. Like I had commented in my voiceover that having walls around showers and stuff helps a lot when you have people using the same space. And this one probably will be used a little bit more because it's the one that's closest to the dining area and the living area and the TV. And little Jasper he got his fun really quickly. That TV, which actually came with the place. That's why I had just left it there because I figured it was good. It fits over the TV, fits over this fireplace, which is the one from City Living, I think. And I think that's City Living, and it's small. It's definitely from one of the packs, and it's nice and a little bit more fitted in, so I like it. That doesn't take as much room. But they're in their new house, and in the next part I'll probably in between parts add a cat to the house. I'm going to use household management because there is a noted bug with adopting cats or dogs that you can't become companions with them and you can't lecture them either, and I'd rather just avoid that. So we're just gonna add it through household management and we won't have that issue. And so that is going to be it for this part. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye! This has been Jennifer. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more videos of challenge, let's plays, tutorials, and occasional speed builds, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much!